Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Quincy Jones! This is where the movie gets its mojo, baby. Groovy.
Everybody goes into a studio to make the biggest record in the world.
Sure.
And everybody's always surprised when it isn't the biggest record in the world. And
Surprised when it's not. Yeah.
200 that haven't done that, you know. So you're surprised when there's one that you really have a lot of hopes for and nothing happens to it. That really shakes your antenna up, you know.
Now, when you get down to the final cut, do you ever take a song off and replace it with another one and then save that song and then later give it to somebody else and it does well?
That's happened. On Thriller, we had 4 songs on there and had all the songs finished. Took 4 off and replaced it with PYT and Beat It and Human Nature.
What became of the 4 you took off?
Some other people recorded it.
Yeah, and what happened?
It was okay, you know, but it wasn't.
So you knew what you were doing in that case?
No, we just got lucky.
No.
Somebody big just died. Legendary producer and composer Quincy Jones is dead at 91 years old. And my friend Mike North is here to deliver his eulogy. Mike, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing good, Joe, but I got to tell you something. Another Chicago guy. I mean, you know what? I'd like to one day just go over the guys that were born in Chicago, whether it be an entertainer, a politician, singers, movie stars, my buddy Dennis Farina, just a bunch of people. But, Quincy Jones was a genius, and he was cool, and he was just a solid guy. I don't think he had an ounce of prejudice in his body, to be honest with you. I don't think in fact, he was welcoming to everybody, and he made his mark early with by producing White Axe. He was so damn good at what he did. He was a multifaceted guy. I don't care if you're talking about Austin Powers with the movie themes that he did a few of, or his Grammy Awards, which he won many, and we'll talk about. And, he was nominated for Academy Awards, and we will talk more about him in just a minute, from his very beginning here in Chicago till the very end into his 90s, where he was still so relevant. I mean, I have a special place in my heart for music, but I also have a special place in my heart for Chicago guys. And when somebody from Chicago dies, I don't care how long they were here from, they're always from Chicago. And I just heard him with David Letterman. That was Chicago there. That wasn't Hollywood. That wasn't LA. He was very respectful. He says, I got rid of the 3 songs. He goes, well, you knew what you were doing. He goes, well, no, I just got lucky. He didn't bury somebody else. He said, well, the other songs did okay, but I just got lucky on my song. So he didn't.
Yeah.
Humble guy, wonderful guy. Everybody that was associated with him, multifaceted people. If they wanted a hit, there were people you could go to before. I don't care if he was like Cole Porter. He was like the guys that do the music for the movies. He was like the guy. I mean, he produced Leslie Gore. We'll talk all about that in just a minute. But first, Cumberland Chapels, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. 8300 West Lawrence Avenue. There they are. Oh, cleaner than the Board of Health. But you end up there because of a lack of health, ladies and gentlemen. But also, you get empathy. You get feeling from the staff. They take you. They embrace you. They show you from beginning to end, the easiest way, the most economical way. They're not out to break your bank. They're out to make things affordable, and they do that. They're a pillar of the northwest side, Norridge, the northwest side of Chicago. Sebastian Maniscalco has mentioned them in his act.
Yeah.
I mean, they're outstanding. That's my favorite part. Yeah, I mean that they're a national brand now, and takes up the whole block. Great parking. The whole thing is beautiful. Then you go to Pennyville Station, and Pennyville Station. Well, I've been there a couple times the last few weeks. I love Tino Antonacci. I love his son who owns the place, the proprietor, Tony. You can see Tino there during the week. Beautiful bar area, great food, outstanding service, outdoor garden. I think it's going to get a little brisk now. Right in front there. There's me with Tony and with ESPN and former, well, he's always going to be my buddy, Jesse Rogers. We're going to be getting together again real soon. So want to thank them both for that. I was shocked when I heard he was sick. I didn't know he was sick. But I'm going to go from the beginning if I can for this guy. He was born, and by the way, he was born in the Bronzeville section of Chicago. And in fact, I remember when I was with the Score, we were doing a lot of remotes, but I had mentioned we hadn't been doing remotes from black areas. And, you know, my management team looked at me at the time. There's he with Peggy Lipton, formerly of the Mod Squad. There he is with Frank Sinatra, one of the all-time greats. I mean, Michael Jackson. I mean, think about the span. John Travolta, Ella Fitzgerald, and Whoopi Goldberg. I mean, people were saying that Ella Fitzgerald, I mean, she was way up in the years back then. She used to be a big, boisterous woman with a loud voice. And you saw her on all the variety shows. She was great. So this guy was outstanding. We did the show in Bronzeville, where he was born, in an all-black area. Me and Dan Jiggetson, we had the time of our life, and I got a chance to see that part. Oh, yeah, I had to see that part of the city. Born March 14th, 1933, in Chicago, and died November 3rd at 91 in Los Angeles, California. There is Austin Powers. Just a cool guy. He had, over the course of a 7-year decade career, he got a lot of accolades, Primetime Emmy Awards, 28 Grammys, folks. Not 8, not 18.
28.
8 Grammys. Yeah. 4 Golden Globes. He worked with Count Basie and Frank Sinatra. In fact, he credits Frank Sinatra for really bringing him in. But and that happened in the late 50s. He ended up working with the Rat Pack in St. Louis, Missouri. And I've seen the VHS tape of this show. It was for the Teamsters. Yeah. In St. Louis, Dean Martin, Johnny Carson, Sammy Davis Jr., and Frank Sinatra.
The dream show.
In St. Louis for the Teamsters. Yeah. They said, you're coming to St. Louis to do a show. And that's what they did. Yeah. He composed numerous film scores, including The Pawnbroker. Terry is a gold member. He did In the Heat of the Night with Sidney Poitier, which was great. And Rod Steiger, Lee Grant. And the music score from In the Heat of the Night is as good as any. In Cold Blood, the Truman Capote screenplay written with Robert Blake as one of the stars about the killings in Kansas. Just all sorts of guys. You got the Gene Holtz Humanitarian Award. There is We Are the World. We got to turn that up, Joe. We got that up there? Let's hear a little We Are the World again, if we can. Well, we'll go through it first. There's Stevie Wonder.
I got the whole open with the audio. Yeah.
Yeah. That's Stevie Wonder. Kenny Rogers, Diana Ross, you name it. The Driving Force, no doubt about it, from KCL. Okay, he was so good. He got an Academy Honorary Award in 2024. He was born on the south side of Chicago, the elder of two sons. Okay, his mom was a bank officer and an apartment complex manager in Chicago South Side, and his father was a pro baseball player and back in the day. And here's the cool part. He had a DNA test of himself done, Joe. And he learned he was from the same family as Tennessee Williams. He was Welsh.
Wow.
He was 38% European. He was not completely black, completely African American. Well, he was completely black, but he wasn't completely African American. I mean, you'd say right there he's 100% black, but he wasn't. It says here, his DNA revealed he was mostly African, but also a 30. Wait a minute. If you're mostly African, but you got 34% European ancestry, then you're mostly African, but you have a lot of European in you too. Almost half and half. His father had English, French, Italian, and Welsh ancestry. So that was something I didn't know. There he is with a girl that I was in love with back in the 70s. Her name was Peggy Lipton, and she was on the Originals Mod Squad show. And he was married 3 times, okay? And he was married to Peggy Lipton. Finally, she was the final one of his 3 wives.
Okay.
Yeah. He was married to Ulla Anderson from 67 to 74. They had a daughter named Martina and a son named Quincy. He also dated for 4 years. I don't think you date somebody for 4 years. You live with them probably. In fact, he later dated and lived with Natasha Kinski, folks. And if you've ever seen Natasha Kinski, I mean, this guy was the real deal. There he is with Robin Williams. There he is with Steven Spielberg.
From The Color Purple, of course.
Yes. He never learned to drive. Got in a car accident at 14. There's Peggy, who I have a soft spot in my heart for. That was a great show back with Michael Cole and Clarence Williams III. Yeah, I don't have notes, folks. I just have great memories of these people. That's why I'm doing this show. There he is. He was getting a little long in the truth.
That's the last photo he ever took right there.
Yeah, he had 2 brain surgeries. Just he lived a full life, but you want a guy to keep going and get it done. He crammed so much into his life. But in 1974, he had a brain-threatening aneurysm. So he started to reduce his workload, but he still worked very, very hard. He sued the Michael Jackson estate because he says they owed him $10 million. So that didn't turn out all that well. He had 2 brain surgeries, like I said. In fact, he blew some of the stitches out because he had been playing the trumpet. They told him to take it easy, and he blew the stitches out of one of the
Oh my God.
surgeries that he had, and that almost caused a problem for him. So his legacy is right. He also was involved in some weird stuff, Joe. It says here, well, Ray Charles introduced him to heroin at 15. He looked up to Ray Charles, and Ray Charles said, "Come out, teach how to play the piano, and we'll shoot you up with some heroin," right? But he only stayed on it for 6 months. Okay, got off it, which he was lucky. He also claimed to have knowledge that he knows for a fact that Sam Giancana was very involved in the murder of John F. Kennedy and was responsible for it. Also, he outed sexual relationships for I don't know why, with Marlon Brando that he had with James Baldwin, Richard Pryor, and Marvin Gaye. Now, I don't know if that's true. I'm just reading what it says here. Apparently, this was a big deal back in the day. Of course, we don't know about it. That's why we do a show called Somebody Big Just Died Here, because we delve into it. But I was shocked to read that James Baldwin was an author. Richard Pryor, the comedian, Marvin Gaye, one of the excellent singers of our time. So I don't know what happened there, but there seemed to be some disconnect between. I said he didn't have any trouble with any of the singers or entertainers. Well, those were three guys that he had a problem with, plus suing the Michael Jackson estate. I think when you're 91, and I think when you deal with so many high-profile people, so many type of business arrangements, to get away from that would be here. Yeah, can we turn that up? No. Let's see if we can turn.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Quincy Jones.
This is where the movie gets its mojo, baby. Groovy.
Yeah, awesome. And Michael Jackson, to work with Sinatra, Count Basie on one end, Michael Jackson and others on the other end. Is your mic's off, Joe.
Oops,
Yeah.
I said the best-selling album of all time in Thriller.
Yeah, and he did 3 Michael Jackson. He did 6 Sinatra albums. Okay, so they were tight.
Yeah.
They were tight. But I found this out about, I'd say 15 years ago. I did not know this. One of my favorite female singers of all time, okay, was a lady named Leslie Gore. And she made songs like Judy's Turn to Cry, She's a Fool, You Don't Know Me There. She made 4 or 5 gigantic hits. And her name, okay, if I'm not mistaken, I think I forgot what her name is. Hold on here. Not Leslie Gore. Leslie Goldstein. Leslie Gold. She was a Jewish girl from New York with this black producer, early 60s. And I just loved her. And to find out that Quincy Jones was the guy that made her, let's listen to a little Leslie Gore.
It's Judy's turn to cry, Judy's turn to cry, Judy's turn to cry. 'Cause Johnny's come back to me.
Awesome. And you would never think that Mr. Cool did those 60 pop hits, but she was as good as anybody.
Do it all, man.
He did it all. He got it done. He was into jazz early, from 53 to 59. He was a guy, and this is great here. Jones played the second trumpet in the studio band, okay, for Elvis Presley Records, okay?
Wow.
In his first 6 television appearances, Presley sang Heartbreak Hotel, which became his #1 record in the Billboard magazine Pop Record of the Year. Quincy Jones played the trumpet on Heartbreak Hotel. Worked with Presley, worked with Sinatra, worked with Michael Jackson, got 28 Emmy Awards. The ultimate respect, probably, in my opinion. He goes down with the greats, the Cole Porters of the world, the Rodgers and Hammersteins, the arrangers, the Henry Mancinis, the Percy Faiths. Joe's going, who the hell are these?
And he takes a different level because this guy produced, wrote, he did it all.
Did it all. So on behalf, and he was married 3 times. I gave out Peggy Lipton's name. Folks, you'll forgive me. we could do a 10-hour show on this guy.
Oh
Okay?
yeah, it's impossible.
I'm looking at Wikipedia. I got cross-eyed. Okay. I mean, that's what we're talking about here. His interests and beliefs were just music for the most part. The bottom line is his marriages. In 1994, rapper Tupac Shakur criticized Jones. Listen to this. Criticized Jones for having relationships with white women. Okay, prompting Jones' daughter, Rashidi, to pen a scathing open letter to Tupac. In other words, go screw yourself, you know?
Yeah.
Which was published in the source. She ended up dating the guy and falling in love with Tupac Shakur. Okay? She lived with him for 4 months and at the time of his death, and they were engaged. So this Quincy Jones and his family and everything else, what a full life that they had, a wonderful life that they had.
And Mike, that daughter, Rashida Jones, she's a big actress. She's a pretty big star.
Well, I didn't know that. No.
I'm pulling up a picture of her. She's been in Parks and Rec. She's been in a ton of other movies.
Oh, baby. That's Peggy Lipton and his kid? Must be. Let's see.
Yeah, that's Rashida Jones.
She became an actress. Jones, yeah. It says here the day after his divorce from Anderson, Jones married American actress Peggy Lipton. They had 2 daughters. Well, I know where she got her looks now, from Quincy and from Peggy Lipton. Holy Christ. That's nice.
She's a big star. She's in a lot of things.
Yeah. So, well, congratulations to her. But I'm sure they're very sad tonight on behalf of Cumberland Chapels, you know, and on behalf of Pennyville Station, on behalf of the bar room. I know Eldo probably is a huge Quincy Jones fan. Eldo's in the music like I am. So the Podfather's into it. Hopefully he's watching tonight, because I wanted to do a Chicago guy. I know he moved when he was 10, but once you live here, somebody said to me, "You don't live in Chicago anymore." I go, "Buddy, my spit's on the sidewalks of Chicago. You can move, okay? My family still lives there." He still had family living in Chicago. And you leave Chicago, but you never leave Chicago. And that's the way Quincy Jones was. And I could tell just the way he was talking to Letterman. As a matter of fact, no BS, just straight, but very, very nice. And there he is right there, sitting on a porch on the south side somewhere. Look at that. Just life is amazing. That's him with one of his young ladies. Good-looking guy, too, Joe. You know? Your mic's off.
What a stud.
Yeah, he had a little Dark Gable in him. Anyway, on behalf of everybody here at the bar room, on behalf of Cumberland Chapels, once again, Pennyville Station, and all you folks, we appreciate it. We hope we did Quincy Jones justice. We'll see you next week.